Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk Live co-host and an analyst for Football Night in America. He's going to be in the booth with Mike Tirico this weekend. Big Ten football. It's Michigan against East Carolina. That'll be at noon Eastern. And he, of course, has the Chris Sims Unbuttoned podcast as well. How big of a story is Jim Harbaugh not coaching the first 3 games going to be on your broadcast this weekend?
Well, I mean, we're certainly going to hit on it, I mean, he is Jim Harbaugh. He's, one of the best coaches in college football. He's kind of a polarizing personality. So, and we're at Michigan, and yeah, we're going to hit on that, I'm sure, a good amount. But, I think big picture of things, first 3 games of the year, Michigan's really talented. They got a lot of older veteran type of players for a college football team. I don't think it's going to affect them very much. And we know he's going to be all over that program, even if he's not, on the field with them on a every minute, day-to-day basis.
Okay, but how did it go from Harbaugh was in jeopardy of losing his job, getting a pay cut, and now he's one of the great coaches in college football?
Yeah, well, I think results, what's happened the last few years, the marketplace, right? There's, teams that have been interested in him. There was no doubt the Denver Broncos wanted to hire Jim Harbaugh last year. So I think between that and where they've been as a program.
Well, did they want Harbaugh before they wanted Sean Payton in Denver?
Definitely, yes, 100%.
Oh, so he was the first choice.
He was the first choice, yes. And I think it kind of, he hemmed and hawed a little bit there about, I might take the job, and then he didn't, and then he kind of went, I might take it, and then he didn't. And that's my understanding.
Who would you take?
Right.
Would you take Sean Payton or Jim Harbaugh if you're Denver?
So you're just trying to start a fight with me and Jim Harbaugh right off the bat here, huh? No, I mean, I'm a big Sean Payton fan. That's not, listen, I'm from the Bill Parcells, Phil Simms, Bill Belichick school of coaching. So I certainly respect Jim Harbaugh's approach and what he does. Mm-hmm. Sean Payton's also in that school of coaching, though. He worked under Parcells, and he's got a blend of offensive genius with physicality to go along with it. Those Saints teams before he left, hey, they were big and physical on both sides of the ball. And I don't think he gets credit for that, part of his coaching. So, yeah, I guess I'd take Sean Payton. Yeah, surely. A quarterback era offensive mind like that, yeah, I'm going to take him.
Can Russell Wilson play his way out of the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Is he?
Is he in the Hall of Fame right now?
No. Is he? Well, yeah. Last year, if he has a bad year this year, like it felt like he was a Hall of Famer with Seattle.
Right. I'm with you. I mean, it's certainly the trajectory where he was going was Hall of Fame. If it continues to be what it was last year, and we look at Denver and go, whoa, they're having to still manipulate the offense and kind of, manage him to a degree, and then things he can and can't do. Yeah, it's going to take some luster off. And especially with Sean Payton, that puts more of a bullseye on it. I mean, again, we saw what he did with Drew Brees, even what he did with Drew Brees towards the end of his career when he wasn't, the Drew Brees we remembered in his prime. So we expect results. He's going to have answers. He's got a better offensive line. I'd be shocked if Russell Wilson doesn't look more like the Hall of Fame type guy over the guy we saw last year.
What are the Patriots doing?
It's a great, I know. Florian and I talked about that today. It was a shocker. It was a shocker in the sense of, what's the plan? There's no veteran out there that you look at that go, oh, well, they'll sign him. I mean, I know Colt McCoy's out there, but the thing I always bring up with New England, that offense is a different language than most offenses in football. So it's not like you can just go, hey, we're going to sign a guy off the street and he'll get up to speed here in 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to take some time. So that's where I don't understand it. I think ultimately Bailey Zappi will be back, practice squad, back up. I think they're probably trying to finagle some roster spots here, hope some other teams, maybe fill some roster spots, and then now they don't need one of their guys and they can stash him on practice squad. I think you got a little of that going on. But this too, Dan, you can't forget about this, all right? New England, for one, has always been, Phil Simms, Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe, Vinny Testaverde. They like those type of quarterbacks, right? I never thought Bailey Zappi was really their cup of tea. And then the other thing on top of that is he didn't play well this preseason. He didn't get much talk about it, but the last 2 games were not impressive. The first game wasn't that impressive. He didn't look even good physically, nor did he make necessarily great decisions. And I think that led us to where we are right now, too.
He's Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk Live co-host and analyst on Football Night in America. Which coach is more likely to have a hot seat? Bill Belichick or Nick Saban?
Ooh. It's crazy either way, right? But Belichick,
But let's say they win 6 games this year.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hot seat time.
Yeah. At what point does Robert Kraft go, Bill, maybe time to, have some nice parting gifts here?
Yeah. Well, in my heart of hearts, right? And, I know some people connected to the situation and nobody knows definitively, but I would say it's this year or next year or the last year for Bill Belichick, okay? Not only people that know him and connected to him, just other things I've heard as well. I think we're going that direction. Yes, they go 6-11. He might be shown the door a little quicker than maybe he would like, right? Again, they're a franchise that's very proud, and I am a little shocked at how the New England fan base has been as critical as Belichick has, ever since Brady left. But that's just the way the current status is of the professional sports. And Saban, college, a little different, and they're still a prime, awesome football team in college football.
Why is Trey Lance a bust, but the person who drafted him not considered a bust in their job? They made the mistake.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, listen, well, Shanahan the evaluator or Shanahan the coach saved Shanahan the evaluator, right? We've seen that before. We could say that about the guy we just talked about, Belichick. He always made some, questionable, second, third round, first round picks where we were like, but it didn't matter because he coached his way out of it. And we're going, no, there they are in the AFC Championship game. I don't ever fault Shanahan, John Lynch. They took their cut, right? They took their swing. They wanted an upgraded quarterback. They tried to get a guy that they believed they could make into a superstar, a Josh Allen, a Mahomes-ish. I never saw that, right? So they've gotten flack out there. It certainly has hurt their football team. But, for that move, I could tell you 10 other moves they made and go, damn, that was a good one. That was an impressive draft pick right there. Ooh, look at this mid-round guy. That's awesome and all that. So where, as we both know, it's one of the better orchestrated teams in all of football.
And I know because it's the Cowboys that's going to garner more headlines, more coverage with Trey Lance going there. But I'm just trying to understand this. He got no playing time with San Francisco. He was injured, lost out to Sam Darnold as the backup quarterback. How's this going to be better? He's not better than Cooper Rush in Dallas. And
no. Yeah.
So he's going to put pressure on Dak Prescott?
Listen, these are all the things that I raise these questions too. I'm with you in that logic. One, hey, listen, I was shocked the 49ers even got a 4th-round pick and got the Cowboys to pay the $5.9 million or $5.4 million, whatever it was. I mean, that was shocking to me. I mean, if my buddy Kyle Shanahan had called me, I'd be like, you're not getting anything for him, dude. You better keep him or you're just going to have to release him. I would not have thought that. Now, whether there's some other, I know there were some teams that were thinking about it. Did it become a bidding war? I don't know. I do think Shanahan was very open to keeping him, so that probably drove up the price a little bit. But yeah, the logic of Dallas, you hit it, Dan. One, hey, Cooper Rush is a pretty good backup. Is the high-end potential of Trey Lance greater than Cooper Rush? Sure. But the thing I keep going back to is he hasn't played football in 3 years. I mean, we're going on 4 years here. I don't know. And then he's going to learn a new offense. So I don't think he's beating out Cooper Rush anytime soon. And then we're going to go into the offseason and go, if he has a good offseason, this is going to put pressure on Dak Prescott to renegotiate his contract. It seems far-fetched to me. It seems like they're, hoping to strike gold here and put pressure on the Dak Prescott situation. But I don't know in reality if that's going to actually happen.
I asked this earlier. More likely to win their division, the Jets or the Packers?
Ooh. Well, okay. AFC East, the Jets and the Dolphins are the 2 most talented teams in that division. I have no qualms about saying that. If you gave me more likely, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
I think the Green Bay Packers have the best roster in the NFC North. I know Jordan Love's a question mark. He got better in every game. I saw enough to go, I had to do this on my podcast yesterday. I picked Green Bay to win the North. Dan, I did. So that's out there. I picked Miami to win the East barely over the Jets, and I put the Bills third and the Patriots fourth. Right? So the AFC is crazy this year. It's going to be fun, but I'm not giving up on the Packers and what they've built there.
Ever see somebody get cut?
Yeah. I mean, like cut, like physically cut, or cut from? I've been cut.
Cut from the roster. But watching somebody, like, how does it work where they call somebody in, and you could be waiting because you might get called in as well. But what's that feeling like? Are you in the locker room and then they go, "Hey, Tommy, come here"?
Yeah. It's usually like that. There's a guy that goes around that's the Grim Reaper, right? He's the Grim Reaper.
The Turk?
On that day.
The Turk?
Yeah, right. Something like that. He's holding a clipboard and he's, hey, can you come up to coach's office? And usually it is a day where everybody's there. And usually, unless you're, one of the 10 best players on the team, everybody's looking out of the corner of their eye. Everybody. And, when you see him walk in and you're not one of those top guys of the team, you always are like, oh, here he comes. Which direction he's going? Oh, he didn't come for me. So you're happy about that. And then you go, oh, man, there goes Tommy. Tommy's going to get cut. Damn, I can't believe they're going to cut Tommy. It's an odd day in the NFL. It really is. And, having the Grim Reaper come towards me, I wasn't sure. I was literally one of those guys where I was like, I don't know. I'm making a good amount of money this year, but they don't have a real viable backup. I still wasn't the same after my injury. And I remember when the guy started coming my way, I kind of slumped my shoulders and I was like, man, really? And he looked at me and it's like, I'm sorry, Chris. And it's just, it's a horrible feeling. It really is, especially for people who have been at the top of sports for a long time. And all of a sudden you're told you're not good enough on this occasion.
Did you cry?
I'm a crier. I didn't cry. I cried there. I did. I cried. I did. And now that I'm remembering it, bringing me back there, I cried as I was kind of saying bye to Josh McDaniels, Brian Zanders, the GM. You get sad about the relationships. Where's my life going to go? But me crying's no big thing, Dan. I'm a crier anyways. Like my family makes fun of me. I'm a crier when the Super Bowl's about to start. I'm a crier in Armageddon when the guy tells, Ben Affleck's, soon-to-be wife permission to shake the hand of the bravest, or the daughter of the bravest man. I'm the worst that way. So don't look at me like that.
Do they escort you out of the building when you get cut?
They don't escort you, but they keep their eye on you, right? So when I was with the Denver Broncos and got cut, I wanted to keep my Josh McDaniels, New England offensive stuff. I was thinking I might be a coach. Either way, even if I wasn't a coach, I'd like to have it. Some of the play sheets, the playbook. I was going to steal all that. I was going to go, I'm taking this and screw you. I'm out of here. But they watched me out of their corner of their eye, and they saw me put that damn thing in my bag, and they said, no, we got to take that. And they took it. And I was like, really? Come on. Josh knows I'm not, but yeah, they watch you and then, don't escort you out of the building, but shake your hand and, hey, say see you later.
But you're allowed to keep your jersey.
Got to keep your jersey. Kept my helmet, right? You get some of that stuff for sure. Yeah, you do. But, it's things you don't really care about at the time, but it's cool, a few years down the road.
Sorry to bring up the emotional baggage that you carry about being.
It's okay. I got over it. PTSD, I smoked that away a long time ago. Don't worry.
You literally smoked that away?
Yes, I did.
But your dad is one of the toughest guys who ever played the position. Juxtapose that with you, that you're crying as you're leaving. Is your dad a crier?
No, he's not. But, what's crying got to do with toughness? That's what I say. I've seen some of the toughest people I've ever met in life where I'd go, I wouldn't fight that guy if you gave me $1 million in cash. And I'd seen him cry a few times. My dad's, old school Kentucky. I mean, I don't think he said I love you until I was 17 years old, and I just broke him down finally, right? So that's just not in him. And yeah, it's been very limited times I've seen my dad shed a tear. It's usually with death or something like that.
And feels like a therapy session.
It is. It's always a therapy session with you, Dan. You're like the mastermind of questions and setting people up. You are. You're the mastermind.
Have fun with Tirico there and play
Thank
nice in Ann Arbor.
I will. Tell all those jerks I said hi.
I assume he's talking about you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chris says, hey, you jerks.
Hey, Chris.
He says hi. Thank you, Chris.
Hey, guys.
That's
no problem,
Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk Live co-host.